YouTube, this is Author Delisha, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, please feel free to subscribe. Hit that notification bell on your right hand side so you'll be notified every time there is a new upload. I pretty much had a pretty good response on my last story time, and I decided that I wanted to do another story time. This one right here is quite different, and it's letting you know a little bit about my past life, but not my present. So I decided that I wanted to do this story on the time that I found out my ex-boyfriend was dating the girl down the street. Yes, y'all, right down the street. Okay, we're going to start off from the beginning, and if y'all want to know a little bit more background on how I actually met my ex, I will be doing a video on that, so y'all could be finding that part out in connection with this video right here. All right, for starters, we were in a 12-year relationship, and when it hit troublesome issues in that relationship, it might have been around the 4th year. Now, I would not say that we are the average couple, but I would say the things for us work for us that may not have worked for other people. So I just want to get that out there before I get started into this story. Like for an example, the both of us totally trusted each other. We didn't have any issues on being able to trust each other because we hadn't really done anything. So we allowed each other to actually have opposite sex friends. We didn't see really like an issue in it, as long as it wasn't like trying to meet up, having sexual talk, things of that nature. But like I said, it was fine for us to have opposite sex friends. So that's pretty much where the issue started within that 4th year. So he met this girl off of this dating website. I know y'all looking like, why would he even be on a dating website? But think about it. Aren't a lot of people still on dating websites, whether they're single, married, engaged, or whatever? Do it out of boredom or whatever. Just like a lot of people is on Facebook. Facebook isn't an actual dating site, but do people use it for hookups and slide in them DMs? Yes, they do. So he was on this website called MocoSpace. For those of you that don't know about MocoSpace, it's been around for years and years. Even at one time, I had a MocoSpace page. That's pretty much how he met the girl. I think the thing about it was, in my mind, I felt like maybe he's just looking for some friends that are close by, because he might have felt alone, like he didn't really have anybody else but me, because of the simple fact he was not from around my area. He was actually from North Carolina like me, but in a whole nother city. So he basically left his life and his lifestyle where he was at to actually live with me and my children at the time, because I had young children, 3 of them. And he, I felt like maybe he need to meet friends, whether it's new male friends, female friends, whatever, as long as they didn't try to intervene and they respected the fact that we were in a relationship, because that was nothing that he was hiding from them. I mean, because I would hear conversations or whatever, and so it's not like they didn't know that he was in a relationship. But this one particular girl was from my area. When he would talk to her, it wasn't like everything was on the hush and that I didn't know about conversations that was going on, but it led to us really needing ways to get around and do things besides catching cabs. Uber and Lyft wasn't out at the time, so it was just more of catch a cab or either catch transportation services. So that's pretty much how it started out. Whenever we needed certain things that needed to be done around the house, or to get out to pay bills or handle certain things, some of those times he would go out and handle those things with this female friend. Okay. As time passed by, I guess they began getting closer. As in confiding it to each other about certain things. Like she would be going through things with her, I guess it was her baby dad at the time with her kids, and she started confiding into him about some things. And I guess what he was going through, some things that he was going through in his life or in his past or that affected him, he was confiding into her about those things. So let me remind y'all, this was kind of like right in the beginning. I knew who the girl was because she would actually pick him up in front of the house, but at the time, I did not know that she was actually in my same apartment complex. I did not know that. So, he had asked me ahead of time, like, do you have any issues or any problems if my friend actually run me to the store to run some errands? And he was kind of more of like, I would say a handyman. So he wasn't working at the time. So he would do certain things for people to actually make money. Like for a prime example, he would do things like wash your car, vacuum your car, run errands for his homeboy or his female friends. He would do certain things, and that's how he would make money and get paid to do whatever he needed to do until he had found a job, since he had just not too long moved to my area. Okay, so he began to meet other people, guys, females, whatever. Now, the first thing that I began to notice within that relationship with that female was the phone calls. The phone calls were lasting. They started out being not as long to the conversations were getting longer. Then I began to notice video chat conversations. And I'm just like, you know how a woman's intuition begins to kick in and your mind begins wondering and thinking like, why is this female calling so much? Like she's been here in this area, or should I say in this state, in this city, probably as much as long as me. So why she is not confining or talking to anybody else? I know she had to have other friends or other people that she knew before she originally had met him. So I began asking him like, why is she calling your phone all the time? It started out with him giving just excuses about, oh, she's going through something and her best friend fell out and she didn't really have anybody else to talk to, anybody else to confine into what was going on. Okay, so you kind of let things like that kind of slide. It don't begin to really kick in until it began to be a constant thing, which was dumb, by the way. So you begin to let little things like that slide. Then when you notice the video chats and it gets to where it's conversations and phone calls all the time, to where whenever y'all are talking or y'all are out and about doing things, like this is beginning to be annoying. They're calling all the time in the midst of us trying to have conversations and spend time together, or when we're out and about running errands and doing stuff, they're calling or want to video chat. Okay, so we pretty much had a conversation about that whole thing. And I'm not sure what he did, but the conversation started to calm down a little because I'm sure he talked to her and told her like, hey, my girl is thinking like it's not cool. You're beginning to call too much, video chat too much, is interrupting, what we got on here, what we got going on. Calm down for a little while. And then it began to pick back up to the point where she would call through the middle of the night. Why are you calling / middle of the night, or should I say early in the morning, because it will be after 12 midnight. What in the world do you got to talk about that you're calling my man at this time of morning? Okay, so I began to take notice of a couple of other things that started to go on. One was whenever she would call, it don't matter what time of the day it was, morning or night, if he was around me, he would inch his way out of the room. If it was in the middle of the night / early morning and we were in the bed, sometimes he would ignore the phone call, flip his phone over, or he would get up and walk out, making it look like it was an emergency or that it wasn't her that was calling his phone. You make it look like, oh, it was my mom or my homeboy asking me something or whatever, because they know I stay up late at night or whatever, and they had something important to ask me or whatever, when really it was her. It was her that was calling, or it was her that was video chat. Okay, now I wasn't the type of female that would actually go through my man's phone and see, who's calling or whatever. And neither one of us had a locks on our phone. So even if he wanted to go through my phone, it would be fine because it was nothing in there that I was hiding. No text messages, no new photos of other guys or anything like that going on. And I could pretty much go through his phone. Now at the time, I was contemplating on if I wanted to do it whenever he would leave his phone in the bedroom and go to the bathroom or something like that. So within that next day, something told me, you never go through a guy's phone. That's not really part of your nature or something that you would do. But something is fishy. Something is up with this female. So whenever he got up and went to go take his shower the next morning, I decided to go through his phone. Okay, first I go into Moco Space because I knew that's where he met her from. So I go looking through the messages, and he was one of them guys that didn't delete anything. So he would leave trail for days. So I went inside of his phone, strolled through his Moco Space messages, and I would see messages from different girls in his inbox, open them up, look at them. I would see pictures. I would see where he gave his number, or they left their number, and then I actually found some messages that they were having between each other, and when they actually had exchanged numbers and how long they had actually been talking on this website. I found her number. I didn't never call her or whatever, but I did take her number down. So what I did is I just grabbed my phone, punched in a name, and then I put her phone number in there so I would have her number. So then I went into his messaging to see what the conversations were, pretty much of what they were talking about. They were talking about a lot of stuff, even things that I felt that he shouldn't have confided into her about, that he should have been confiding into me about, he was confiding into her. So one of those issues that we were having by the time that 4th year hit, part of those issues and part of that downfall was because of the fact that I felt he was not trying enough. He was not trying as far as to help him being a provider or trying to get a close connection with my kids. I felt like he had more of a connection with my son, but not my 2 girls. And the fact that he wasn't really trying to really find like a real job, something where would be more beneficial to all of us as a family or as a whole. And the fact that whenever something was going on, that he always confined into other people, like he was scared to talk to me and tell me about it, which I don't know why, because we actually took the time out to be friends and talk for a while before we initially went into dating. So yeah. So anyway, this female began getting curious herself. So what happens is, I guess the next time he went out and ran some errands and did whatever with her, and he would come back with groceries or household items or whatever it was that he did. I guess she began asking about me, who was I, whatever, because she didn't know who I was. So she began doing her little research, because I guess what he told her, she felt was a lie. So come to find out, he told her that I was his sister, and that my kids was his nieces and his nephew. So every time she would see me like outside or whatever, she would just have this look like she wanted to stop or she wanted to say something. And one time I was actually walking to go pay my rent, and I had the money order in my hand because I had not too long went to the store, and I seen him get out of her car. She had this look on her face like, well, if that's her sister, if that's his sister, why wouldn't she speak? Why does she look like she's mad or whatever. Like she didn't even wave to me or whatever. That's pretty much what he told me that she had said when she started to put everything together. So she found a picture of us that we had took in the past when we first got together online or whatever, because y'all know you put something online, it stays online, it does not go anywhere. Seems like even if you delete it, Google will still pull it up, or people save it or copy it or whatever. That's why I'm not one of those people that like putting about a lot of pictures on stuff, because it will still resurface no matter what. 10 years, 20 years later, it's still, the picture is still there. So she found a picture of us and she sent it to him. He showed it to me. And she was just like, this can't be your sister, because it's a picture of y'all together. And it's saying like you and her, and it's got your last name up there. So even though if y'all are siblings, of course y'all have the last name, but no siblings really take pictures like this together. So then that's when he came up with some other lie. He had came up with some other lie and told her, well, we took that picture together because the guy that she was dating didn't know that she had a brother, so she just used me to actually trick him, to trick him into thinking that I was her, I was her new man or whatever, to try to get him jealous. Like he was the master manipulator of lying, reversing stuff, and good at being able to get what he needed out of any female. It don't matter if it was clothes, shoes, money, errands, lying to one to get something from another. That's what I began to pick up on. Like this is weird. Like, why would you even continue to ride around with this female? So then things began spreading around. I started hearing stuff from my family, my friends, associates, different people. I was like, are you and this guy still together? Because I keep seeing him driving another girl's car, and they're together all the time, riding around town. They'll be at Walmart, Dollar Tree, Target, wherever, stopping to get something to eat at McDonald's or somewhere or whatever. And it's weird because I thought y'all was actually in a relationship. So I began hearing things like that. So one of the times I remember, I think she dropped them off at the house, and they were under the hood. I think she had like a big oil leak or something was going on with her car or whatever. So he comes in the house and he brings me to the door, and he tells me to look at her. Now he was like, okay, since all these rumors and all this stuff is going on, look at this chick and you tell me if you think this will be a chick that I will sleep with. So I'm looking at my screen door at the girl, and I'm just like, no, she don't look like your type. Wrong. Stupid of me to be thinking that. But any girl is still going to feel like their man is the good man, the right man, the trustworthy man, the faithful man, or whatever. They don't want to still believe something because of their heart, because they're in love. They're blinded by it all. So I'm looking at this girl. This girl is dark skinned, which isn't his type. And she's big boned, which isn't his type. Come to find out, he originally didn't have a type. Some men don't have a type. They want to give you the illusion to feel like, oh, I like light-skinned girls with long hair or pretty eyes with big boobs and a big butt, or a thick girl or hourglass figure. When in reality, if they cannot pull that girl, that is not what they get. In reality, they get what they can pull. It does not matter the color. It does not matter the size. But I didn't know that then. I was thinking like, I'm nothing like her. She's nothing like me. There is no way that he could be sleeping with this big girl, this dark skinned girl. Like she's not even cute. She's not even up to par. She's not even on my level. So that's what I'm thinking. I was just like, nah, that got to be a rumor. Stupidity. Just stupidity, I'm telling you, okay? So next thing I know, time passed by. I allowed stupid things to go on. Stupid things, I would say, to happen, and I would overlook it because I was outweighing in my mind if I was still in love with him or not. Should I stay with him and still try to make things work and give him an ultimatum? Should I kick him out? Should we break up or what? So my mind was going through a terminal of feelings and emotions because at that time, so much time had passed by. My kids had gotten older. My oldest daughter had went off to college. My son, I let him leave around probably about 14 to go live with his father. And around that time, it was just me and baby girl. So I'm thinking to myself, I guess I can play the game too. He want to play the game, I can play the game too. So I started meeting guys and I started hanging out with guys too. I started going out bowling, skating, movies, doing some of everything to make them mad, to make them jealous, and just living my best life and doing the same thing back to him because I feel like you want to play ball, I could play ball too. I could play it even better than you. Okay, so time passed by. That's when I noticed that he was starting to go over to her house. And I would try to get in contact with him. And he would lie and say that he was with his cousin. So I guess he would walk to her house. This is before I found out she stayed in my housing development area because I know he didn't have a car to get there. So I would try to contact him, text messages, phone call. And then I remember that he had this app called Zello. For those of y'all that don't know about Zello, it's more of a walkie-talkie type app. And Voxer. Both of those are walkie-talkie apps. So I would get on those apps. And the good thing about that Voxer app is if a person is your friend, it basically doesn't really tell your full location, but it tells your location where you are. Like if you go to another city or another state, it'll basically tell. So he had his location turned off at one point in time. Something told me to get back on that app and check again when I sent him like a voice message and he didn't ever respond back. So I get back on the app and I actually see that his location was turned on, which was dumb. He didn't notice that it was on. And I seen that he was still in my area. I'm like, I thought you told me that you was at your cousin's house. So if your cousin stays in Smithville, North Carolina, why is it saying my city? Oh, I don't know why it's saying your city. I'm not there. I'm really with my cousin. Something is going on with my phone. This is when guys begin to give lies about their phone. I'm in the country. My phone doesn't get good signal. My phone is going to hang up. I'm not getting your phone calls. They're not going through. Or you're not going to be able to hear me because it's going to be sounding choppy because of the connection, and we don't have no Wi-Fi or no hotspot or something like that here. So this is when those type of lies started coming and playing into action. He was gone for like a whole maybe 3 days. But the real reason why is because he knew that I would pick up on him being with that girl because he was at the girl's house. She had kids. She had like 3 kids. They were like really loud, really ghetto. And come to find out when my daughter seen the person that he was supposed to be with, she was like, Mom, I know that lady. We used to like, she was saying that they used to play with her kids. And she was like, that lady stayed right out here. Like she's 1 street over. And if it's saying our area, which is Goldsboro, that's probably where he's at. He's not at his cousin's house. So we started putting it all together. So believe it or not, I didn't even go to her house. I didn't even go to her house, knock on the door or anything. I waited for him to actually come back. So when he came back, I noticed that he was acting kind of weird. He ran and jumped into the shower. He tried to avoid having eye contact with me, avoid having a conversation with me. And then within that time period, we had already had separate rooms. Once my son left, he was able to just put all his stuff into a room. So around that time, that's when sex began to change. Like, we wasn't really having sex. We wasn't really sleeping in the same bed together. And y'all know, that is most definitely another sign that a man does whenever he's cheating on you. Y'all sex pattern change. A woman can pretty much master maybe sleeping with more than one partner because her pattern of what y'all were doing is not going to change. Men actually suck at it. Men are, their pattern is going to change because with that woman pleasing them and satisfying them, they're probably not going to no longer want you or lust for you. So I was thinking to myself, yeah, he got to be sleeping with her because things is different. He tried to make it look like, oh, that's his man cave, his relaxation, where he go in there and relax, and we still were gonna sleep in the same bed and this and that and all that. But I'm like, no, this has to be going on. So what happened is, remember that phone number that I told y'all about? I put it to good use. I decided to call her up, tell her who I was, and she was like, "Oh, I know who this is." She was like, "I have been seeing you a couple of times, and I actually was wanting to talk to you because she was the one that was originally telling me about these lies that he was saying about me being his sister." And she was like, every time I would say I would want to talk to you, he would like, "No, no, no, don't talk to her because she's really blunt. She's got a really, really bad attitude. She'll pop off. She'll curse you out. She don't really deal with females because she's introverted," which is true. I don't really deal with too many people because I am an introvert. I stay to myself. I don't really deal with people. I don't really deal with drama. But whenever I do speak on something, it's blunt and to the point. Like, I'm a very truthful person. Like, I'll just bluntly tell you how I feel. I'm not one of them people that try to sugarcoat things because I'm worried about, oh, I might hurt their feelings, or tell a person what they want to hear versus what they really should hear and really should know. So we pretty much had a conversation, and then she said, well, and this is as time went by, and he actually had a job. He was working at City Trends, matter of fact. She called, we were talking, and then she said, well, maybe she said, is it okay if I could come down to your house? She said, I got to pick him up from work at a certain time. And she said, maybe we can chat and we can just pretty much blast him and go pick him up from his job together. And I'm just like, wow, that is a good idea. So we began talking. She came out of my house. We began talking about everything that's been going on, all the lies that he'd been pretty much telling her, all the lies that he'd been pretty much telling me, stuff that he told her about me. Some of it was true, some of it was not true. And so by the time ticked by, we decided, hey, it's about time to go pick him up. So we got in her vehicle and we went to his job. We literally went to his job, and I'm just shocked. Like, this don't make no sense. Like, this is crazy. So we waited. We were still talking. We waited and we waited. Finally, he come out those double glass doors. And the weird thing about it is, he stupidly did not look on the passenger side. He seen somebody sitting on the passenger side, but did not even look to see that it was me. For some reason, he was thinking that it was her mom or her cousin, one of her family members or somebody that was in that front seat on that passenger side. So he got in the back. So she turned around and started saying something to him. I still hadn't turned around and said anything yet. So finally, I turn around and I go, you didn't think that it would boil down to this, huh? You didn't think that me and her would actually team up and come to your job. You better be glad that I didn't go up in your job and cause you to lose your job. Because I can definitely turn up in there and it just would have been a hot ass mess. So we got to talking, and then that's when I began questioning him about, why did you lie? What was the purpose of cheating, lying, trying to play us, have your cake and ice cream too, still living off of me or whatever, and sneaking going out with her, pretending that y'all are just friends when you're being devious in the. I'm telling you, y'all, I was so turned up, I didn't give him time to say nothing, because before I know it, my fist had done hit him in the damn face. My fist done hit him in the damn face, and the next thing I know, he busted out crying. It was just a hot ass mess. And she was just like, oh my God, don't be fighting in my car. You okay? Oh Lord, I didn't know all this was gonna happen. And I'm looking at her like I'm about to punch you in your damn face too in your own fucking car. Your best bet is to not be saying nothing to me, because when I get hot, when I get pissed, I get pissed off. Like there's no stopping. It's too late. It is too freaking late. To make a long story short, we drove home, you know, and got out of the car, went back to my house, and it was just like Holyfield up in that joint. I'm telling you, it was like Holyfield. It was a hot mess. Because I'm one of them people where I don't believe in putting my hand on other people. But if you do stuff consistently and you tip me, it's gonna go down. It is going to go down. All right, y'all. That is the end of my story with how I found out that my ex was cheating with the girl down the street. If you like this story, like, love, and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me what y'all think. Feel free to share this video. Next, I will have some more story time videos coming up. So make sure y'all tune in to see those. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.